Remind your dad he's #1 this year with our tutorial on making a Father's Day card in Corel Paint Shop Pro. I'm going to go into Paint Shop Pro to show you how to create a greeting card that you can use for Father's Day. This is a really fun project and quite easy to do, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is to launch Paint Shop Pro in the Edit workspace, and then, from the File menu, select New. Now, most print shops that do personalized greeting cards have the option to upload your own image, which is very useful. So you're going to want to make sure that your card here has the correct dimensions. Since the size that most of these shops use is 5 by 7 inches for the cover, let's enter those numbers into the image dimensions in this window. Now, as most of you know, cards can be displayed either in a landscape or a portrait, so keep that in mind when you're entering in this information. If you want your card to stand upright, like an open book, you'll enter 5 inches in for the width and 7 inches for the height. But in this example, I want my card to stand the other way, so I'm going to make it horizontal. Enter in 7 inches for the width and 5 inches for the height. You may also want a background color for this card, and so all you have to do is just uncheck transparent, and that'll activate the color option. One click with the eyedropper tool on the square, and the Material Properties window will pop up, and that'll give you options to create a custom background. I'll select a nice dark forest green. This is my dad's favorite color, so you can choose whatever color works best for you. And now I'll just click OK, and here we have this lovely background to work with. Since the rest of this video is going to use layers, you're definitely going to want to see those layers. So if you don't see this area over here with these options, it probably means that you closed your layers palette at some point. All you have to do to view it is to hit the F8 key on your keyboard, and as you can see, it'll just open up just like that. So now that we have the background, let's add a little something to it. Here's a beautiful image. This is actually a photo that was converted into a painting using another great Corel product called Painter. Then it was saved as a JPEG. So this image can open in Paint Shop Pro just like any other photo. Alright, so now we have a picture in our Edit workspace. I want to add this image to my project, and this is very simple. All I have to do is use the key combination Control and the letter A to select the entire image. Now I'll hit Control and the letter C to copy. And now if I go back to my project here, from the Edit menu, I can select Paste as New Layer, and that's going to create a whole new layer just for this photo. Next, resize the image so that it fits on the background and leaves a nice border around the edges. To do this, you can just zoom out by pulling the mouse wheel forward, and then grab the corner handles of the image and drag them in toward the center. Using layers is definitely a habit you'll want to get into if you're working on projects in Paint Shop Pro. It'll transform the way that you use different elements such as backgrounds, photos, texts, and so on. If you're not sure if the picture is centered properly, you can always go to Objects, Align, and then there's a variety of options to choose from. For this project, I'll choose Center Horizontally because all I want to do is leave some room at the bottom here for the text, but I want to make sure that the image is centered nicely on either side. Now to add the greeting. This will only take a few minutes. Navigate to the Text tool, click, and you'll get a cursor that looks like the letter T. Click on the project and take a look over on the right. You'll see that a new vector layer has been added to the Layers palette. This is going to happen anytime you add text or shapes to a project in Paint Shop Pro, and that's because these are vector objects. If you want to learn more about the difference between vector and raster images, there's literally hundreds of useful websites and articles that cover that topic. But to really simplify it for this video, photos are raster, graphics and text is vector. And that's really all you need to know when you're working with layers in Paint Shop Pro. The next thing you're going to want to see on your workspace is the Mixer palette, and this lets you choose colors. Again, much like the Layers palette, it's very simple to bring this up. If it's not on your screen, just hit the F6 key on your keyboard to view it or hide it. So take a look at the Mixer, and you're going to see that there's two overlapping color swatches on the right. The top color is the outline, and the bottom color is the fill. So in this case, if I want to make my text a nice gold color with a black outline, I can simply click here and select the black. And now if I click over here, I can change this color to a nice deep gold. Now let's lay out this text. If you're not sure exactly how large to make the text or what font to use, you can just type in the text first and then make the alterations after. This way you can see them take place on the screen. Let's highlight this and now we can choose a font. I'll make this 36 points and decrease the stroke width to 4. Now we have a nice bold outline. And I should also point out that if you're not sure about the exact font size, you can always drag the corner handles out and this will manually resize the text. I'm going to go back to Object, Align, and Align horizontally again, just to make sure that the text is centered nicely under the image. And of course, after doing any resizing to the text, you're going to want to go back and just make sure that it's still aligned properly. And that's all there is to it. Now that you're done the card, you'll want to make sure that you save one version of this as a PaintShop Pro format, and that way all your layers will remain intact. And then, of course, you can change them later if you need to. So go to File, Save As, and select PSP Image as the file type. Now, since most print shops and stores' websites only use JPEG images, you're definitely going to want to save a version in that format as well. So go back to File, Save As, and select JPEG. After you click OK, you're going to see an error message pop up, but don't worry, this is perfectly normal. This is just a message that's warning you that your project has multiple layers, and since JPEGs only support one, your image is going to be compressed into a single layer. So since you already have your image backed up as a PSP image file, that's okay. So simply click Yes to this message and your card will be saved. Thank you for watching, and visit learn.corel.com for tons of video and written tutorials, contests, tips, ebooks, and more.